So, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a lot to talk about today because the world of AI and tech just doesn't sleep. It feels like every single week we're seeing these massive landscape-shifting stories drop, and this week is absolutely no exception. It's a mix of huge funding rounds, some pretty significant layoffs, major product launches, and even some legal drama brewing. It's a lot to keep track of, but that's what we're here for. We're going to break it all down, piece by piece. Today, we're diving into the top 10 headlines that I think are really shaping the conversation and, more importantly, the future of artificial intelligence. These aren't just random news blurbs. These are the stories that have ripple effects across the entire industry. We're talking about billions of dollars moving around, new labs being formed by tech giants, and fundamental questions being asked about how we use and regulate this technology. It's a fascinating and sometimes chaotic time to be watching this space. So, we're going to get into a brand new AI startup from a very familiar name that just raised an insane amount of money, some big updates from OpenAI, and a major move from Microsoft that affects thousands of employees. We'll also cover Amazon's robot army, a big legal fight over AI training data, and even a potential breakthrough in quantum computing. It's a packed rundown. Let's get into it. Alright, first up, and this one is a heavyweight, Mira Murati, who you'll definitely know as the former CTO of OpenAI, has officially launched her own AI startup called Thinking Machines Lab. And the headline here isn't just the launch, but the funding. They've secured a staggering $2 billion in a funding round led by none other than Andreessen Horowitz, or a 16Z. This values the brand new company at an eye-watering $10 billion right out of the gate. That is an absolutely wild valuation for a company that's just getting started, and it really speaks to the hype and the investor confidence surrounding not just AI in general, but specifically Mira Murati's vision and leadership. This move is significant for a couple of reasons. First, it shows that the talent that built OpenAI is now branching out, potentially creating a new wave of competition and innovation. We're seeing the genesis of a new major player in the AI space. Second, that $10 billion valuation sets an incredibly high bar. It signals that investors are willing to write massive checks for experienced teams with ambitious goals, even before a product is on the market. The pressure is on for Thinking Machines Lab to deliver something truly groundbreaking to justify that kind of faith and capital. It's a bold first step, and we'll be watching very closely to see what they build. Next up, let's talk about the company Mira Murati just left. OpenAI. They've had a busy week themselves. First, the big product news is the official launch of Codex. For those who haven't been following, Codex is the AI model that powers GitHub's Copilot, and it's designed specifically to understand and write code. Now that it's being rolled out more broadly, it has the potential to fundamentally change how developers work, automating routine coding tasks and helping to debug complex problems. It's a powerful tool, one that could seriously accelerate software development across the board. It's the kind of practical AI application that moves beyond chatbots and into the core of how we build technology. But on the flip side of that innovation, OpenAI is also facing some serious heat. A new report has surfaced highlighting a major controversy with ChatGPT. Apparently, the platform has been generating inappropriate content for minors, raising huge safety and ethical concerns. This is a recurring nightmare for any large-scale AI platform. How do you control the output and prevent misuse? For OpenAI, a company that positions itself as a leader in responsible AI development, this is a particularly bad look. It underscores the immense challenge of content moderation at scale and the ongoing struggle to build guardrails that are effective enough to protect vulnerable users. Moving on to number 3, we have Microsoft, a key partner of OpenAI, making some tough decisions. The company has announced that it's cutting about 4% of its workforce, which translates to thousands of jobs. Now, layoffs are never good news, but the reasoning behind this one is particularly interesting and very telling of the current tech climate. Microsoft has explicitly stated that these cuts are necessary to help offset the massive costs associated with building out their AI infrastructure. The hardware needed to train and run these large-scale AI models, we're talking tens of thousands of specialized GPUs, is incredibly expensive. This is a really clear indicator of the all-in strategy that major tech companies are pursuing with AI. They are willing to restructure their entire organization, including making painful cuts in other divisions, just to free up the capital and resources needed to compete in the AI arms race. It shows that the financial commitment to AI isn't just about R&D budgets, it's affecting corporate strategy at the highest level. For Microsoft, it's a calculated gamble that the long-term payoff from dominating the AI platform layer will be worth the short-term pain and the significant upfront investment in infrastructure. Meanwhile, another tech giant, Meta, is making its own aggressive moves in the AI talent war. They've just announced the formation of a new division called Superintelligence Labs. And to lead this new effort, they've brought in some serious heavy hitters. The former CEO of Scale AI and the former CEO of GitHub. These are not small hires. These are industry leaders who have experience building massive, successful tech platforms. Bringing them on board is a major statement of intent from Meta and Mark Zuckerberg. The stated goal of Superintelligence Labs is pretty ambitious: to accelerate the path to Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. But honestly, the more immediate strategy seems to be focused on poaching top-tier AI talent from competitors like Google and OpenAI. Meta is making it clear that they are willing to pay top dollar and provide the resources necessary to attract the best minds in the field. This isn't just about building new products, it's about consolidating talent and expertise under their roof. It's another front in the ongoing war for AI dominance, fought not just with code and hardware, but with human capital. From software to hardware, our fifth story comes from Amazon. They have just announced a pretty massive milestone. They have now deployed their 1 millionth robot across their fulfillment centers. Think about that scale for a second. 1 million robots working alongside human employees to sort, pick, and pack packages. It's a level of automation that was pure science fiction not too long ago. These aren't just simple, repetitive machines either. They're becoming increasingly sophisticated, helping to make the entire logistics network more efficient and faster. What's new here is that this latest generation of robots is powered by a new proprietary AI foundation model developed by Amazon. This model allows the robots to better understand their environment, adapt to new tasks more quickly, and collaborate more effectively with both humans and other robots. It's a significant step up from pre-programmed automation. Amazon is essentially building a collective intelligence for its robotic workforce. This is a prime example of AI's real-world, physical impact, optimizing one of the largest and most complex supply chains on the planet. Alright, story number 6, and this is where things get legal. The British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, is reportedly threatening legal action against the AI search company, Perplexity. The issue at the heart of this dispute is content scraping. The BBC alleges that Perplexity has been using its news articles and other content without authorization to train its AI models and generate answers for its users. This is a huge deal because it's one of the first times a major legacy media organization is publicly pushing back against this common practice in the AI industry. This conflict gets at a fundamental, unresolved question in the AI world. Who owns the data that these models are trained on? And should the creators of that data be compensated? For years, many AI companies have operated under the assumption that anything publicly available on the internet is fair game for training data. The BBC is challenging that assumption head-on. The outcome of this potential legal battle could set a major precedent for how AI companies are allowed to source their training data in the future, potentially forcing them to license content and share revenue with publishers. Coming in at number 7, we have a fascinating development from Cupertino. Apple is reportedly exploring the use of generative AI to help automate the design of its own chips. We all know Apple's Silicon, the M-series chips in their Macs and the A-series in their iPhones is a huge competitive advantage for them. The design process for these chips is incredibly complex, expensive, and time-consuming, involving hundreds of engineers working for years. The idea here is to use AI to speed up that entire workflow. The AI could potentially help with everything from generating initial floor plans for the chip layout to optimizing the placement of billions of transistors for better performance and power efficiency. This is a really clever, inward-facing application of AI. Instead of a consumer-facing chatbot, Apple is looking to use AI to enhance its own core engineering capabilities, making their product development cycle faster and more efficient. If they can successfully integrate AI into their chip design process, it could solidify their hardware advantage for years to come, allowing them to create even more powerful and customized silicon for their devices. Number 8 is a reminder that with great data comes great responsibility and sometimes a great big fine. Google has been hit with a penalty of $314.6 million by regulators. The fine is for the unauthorized transfer of data from Android devices. Essentially, regulators found that data was being collected and moved in ways that users had not properly consented to, which is a major breach of data privacy regulations like GDPR. This is a significant financial penalty, even for a company the size of Google. This story highlights the ongoing tension between tech companies' desire to collect vast amounts of data to improve their services, including their AI models, and the growing push for stronger user privacy and data protection. For Google, whose entire business model is built on data, these kinds of rulings are a direct threat. It forces them to be more transparent and careful about their data handling practices. It also serves as a warning to the entire industry that regulators are watching closely and are not afraid to levy massive fines for non-compliance. The era of quietly collecting user data without explicit consent is coming to an end. Our ninth story touches on a topic that's becoming more and more relevant every day: the impact of generative AI on media. We are seeing a massive shift in how content is created, from AI-generated articles and images to incredibly realistic deepfake videos. This technology is reshaping the media landscape at a breathtaking pace, but it's also raising some very serious concerns. The potential for misinformation and the creation of convincing but entirely fake content, deepfakes, is a huge challenge for society. It's becoming harder to know if what you're seeing online is real. In response to this, there's a growing chorus of calls from lawmakers, media organizations, and the public for clearer regulations. One of the main proposals gaining traction is the mandatory labeling of AI-generated content. The idea is that any image, video, or piece of audio created or significantly altered by AI should come with a clear disclaimer. This would help audiences distinguish between authentic and synthetic media, giving them the context needed to critically evaluate what they're consuming. It's a complex debate about balancing innovation with the need to maintain a shared sense of reality and trust in information. And finally, rounding out our top 10 is a story that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. Researchers have announced a major breakthrough in the field of quantum computing. They have reportedly achieved an exponential speed-up on a specific type of problem, demonstrating a clear advantage over even the most powerful classical supercomputers. This is a critical milestone that the field has been working towards for decades. It's one thing to build a quantum computer, but it's another thing entirely to prove that it can actually solve a problem faster than a traditional computer. Now, we need to be clear, this doesn't mean we'll have quantum laptops next year. The applications are still very specialized, focused on things like material science, drug discovery, and complex optimization problems that are impossible for classical computers to handle. However, this experimental result is a huge proof of concept. It validates the theoretical promise of quantum computing and suggests that we are moving from a purely theoretical and experimental phase into an era where these machines can start tackling real-world, valuable problems. It's a glimpse into a completely different paradigm of computation. So, there you have it. 10 stories, 10 different windows into the absolute whirlwind that is the AI and tech industry right now. From $2 billion startups and massive corporate restructuring to fundamental legal battles over data and mind-bending breakthroughs in quantum physics, it's clear that the pace of change is not slowing down. If anything, it's accelerating. Each of these headlines could have been the biggest story of the month just a year ago, and now they're all happening in the same week. It's a lot to process, but it's undeniably exciting to watch unfold. The ripple effects from these events will be felt for months and years to come, influencing the apps we use, the hardware we buy, and even the job market. The move by Microsoft shows the incredible cost of this race. while the BBC's stance against perplexity could reshape the economics of AI training data entirely. It's a dynamic, high-stakes environment where the next big thing is always just around the corner. We're living through a major technological revolution, and we're seeing it built and debated in real time. But that's what I think. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Which of these stories surprised you the most? Was it the sheer size of Mira Murati's funding round, the BBC's legal threat, or the quantum computing news? Drop a comment down below and let me know your take. And of course, if you want to stay up to date on all this and more, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.